What's going on, guys? This is Ron coming at you with another video. So we are continuing this climb all the way to Diamond. I'm sorry, not even now Diamond. Now we're climbing to Masters. So we're going to Masters, and it's been so consistent so far. It's crazy. Like, it's actually been pretty awesome with how quickly these games have been going. Right now I'm going from Diamond 3 to Diamond 2. Diamond 2. Or I'm saying this transition was actually a little tricky. Got like a full 10 games in there, and there's even some that I had to cut out because they were just quick. Like, I probably maybe like I was set like a fossil diner or something, and then they just quit, or I'll even just go first and they'll quit. So I obviously cut those out, and I gave you guys like more quality games of fun that are actually worth watching. So without further ado, let's get into it. So this one I actually got first, and it actually looked like a pretty solid hand. Like, you get Fossil Dyna, you get Solums and Solemn Strikes, but guess what? I don't have. Oh, actually, not even. I thought they were gonna imper my ass, but apparently they just went and did evenly match, which is pretty trash. Because now they're just gonna start playing around, and I'm not gonna really have any way or any form of defense or any back road to stop anything from happening. Still works out in a way, because then I end up getting 2 draws, and both of these are actually pretty decent draws. That Solemn Judgment is huge, because like anything happens, I can have some response. So they go Pot of Prosperity here. I let it through because I just wanted to see what deck he was running and what he actually had to use. But he didn't, looks like he didn't really grab anything of note. At least not yet, anyway. Now I get my Mirror Shield, so now I'm even more in the driver's seat. Got Dogmatica. He does evenly me, and I had to use that Solemn to get that shit out of here. So now that's 2 evenlies out of his deck. So there's only one more, and I'm just hoping he doesn't run into it. But now that takes away my my really super protection because I don't get another Solemn Judgment. And I get 2 Mirror Shields. This set me off. I was like, wow, 3 in my deck. I have 1 on the field, and then I end up drawing 2. I was like, this game really is just trying to sabotage me at this point. So I was a little sad about it, but luckily I was able to pull through. So I get a Solemn Strike. I set that. Evenly. I was like, really? But at least this time, it didn't really matter too much. I didn't lose very much of anything with that. I mean, the Crackdown was a tough one to lose, but it's alright. Now I get Clockwork Knight, I get Nader Servant, I could pop that with Entis, get that out of there. And then now this is pretty much, oh no, it's almost game, not quite game. But now you see how I'm careful. Like, so instead of me setting on turn 1 or at main phase 1, I set main phase 2 because I wasn't trying to deal with more bullshit. Because seriously, with my luck, watch him draw the 3rd evenly, and then at that point he just calls it. So it was a 12-round game, but it was really just, again, attrition. Like, just slowly working in my stuff and really just kind of tying the noose or tightening the noose, if you will. And then I was able to stop it. But I'm telling you, as those games go on, you just start fearing. You're like, oh my gosh, he's going to draw an out, he's going to draw an out, but luckily he didn't draw the out. Because, like, the nicest thing about decks like these is that you're, like, as he's trying to draw 1 card to get the out, like, you're not, like, you're developing more resources, so you just have more ways to, like, stop him from doing things. So this is a really not good, I feel like, granted, the 2 Solemn Judgments are amazing, but the Barrier statue, I'm literally just living and dying by a single card right now. And sure enough, he gets the evenly, but luckily I have the Solemn Judgment to stop him. And then now I'm just waiting to see what he does here. So he gets this Grenadier, whatever this is. And then I smartfully held onto my Solemn Judgment. So now I get Barrier Statue with Moon Mirror Shield, Dogmatica, start working into my, the Dogmatica trap. Attack into that, get that out of the field. attack, and then set Dogmatica, and then pass turn. And then yeah, that was enough for him to end the game. I mean, I had too much follow up. Like I had my Solemn Judgment, like I had Dogmatica, like I was sitting really nicely there. So similar board, but I'm going second now, which is kind of rough. This, if I'm remembering this one, this might be one where I thought I was gonna lose and I just somehow pull it off. So I'm just gonna like let this play and see if it makes sense. Oh, 100%. I think this is the one. Cause yep, sure enough, that's exactly what I was thinking. This is crazy. So literally, like, look at this board before I even start. So you got what the hell is it? You got Fenrir, Arise Heart, and Shangri-La, and all this other BS. Like, so I get Jogan. And then, smartly enough, so I know that they're not going to attack me until next turn. So I go Jogan. I try to activate. Oh no, I can't. So that's the thing. I tried to activate Jogan, but I couldn't because of this BS Arise Heart. Like nothing could go into the graveyard. You have to discard and send it to the graveyard. So I semi misplayed here. Unfortunately, I think that was the only play I really had. So I had to go with it, and I just kind of said whatever. I guess. I was just hoping for next turn at this point. Now, the thing is I was waiting for him to do that, like, but he did it, like, on the wrong phase, so now all my cards go live, so I wait. I'm just waiting for him to do stuff. So Kashira, I Solemn Strike that, but now I have another Solemn Strike, so I take that to kind of this is like a counterplay almost, or like this is like I'm playing moves ahead. So I know I have two Solemn Strikes. I'm hoping he thinks that I shotgun my stuff, and he's like, "Oh, this is only Solemn Strike. I'm good." Just so that way he could start getting happy with his Arise Heart, which it happens literally in the very next card. So now I use Solemn Strike to get the Arise Heart out of the field. So this is huge for me. Now that that's off the field, now my Dogmatica is allowed because before I couldn't use Dogmatica because it has to touch the graveyard. So now I use Dogmatica to smack Unicorn and Fenrir at the same time. So this effect goes off. Then now I got, yeah, so literally wipes his entire board with all of my back row. Now I get Morganite. So that allows me future stuff. Or I'm saying like that allows me 2 draws per turn. Now Shangri-La gets used, but then I end up using Jogan. He uses his last thing, like his last material. So now I draw 2 next turn. But now I Solemn Judgment him here intentionally because I had a feeling that was going to be his only card, and I was right, and I got very lucky here. So now I'm down to virtually nothing. So now I attack with Jogan. I got Solemn Judgment. This is so stupid. I'm living by a hair right now. And the thing was is like the other part I didn't mention was that he tributed his Shangri-La for that Starfrost, and then he loses the Starfrost. That one really hurt him big time. So now I get Fossil Dyna and Jogan, and now I'm just attacking away. And I still have my Solemn like in my back pocket. And he knows it, but now it's kind of trashed, right? Because now I have Moon Mirror Shield on a 200 attack monster, so I'm literally just smacking him for however much he's worth with this to break whatever he sets, and then I'm just attacking with the other 2 monsters. And now I have a Crackdown in addition. It's so trash. Like this is like the best possible scenario for exactly. Like right now I'm like completely in the driver's seat, and he knew it, and it was over. So now going into this one, So now going second, I mean, you gotta love that when you have a stun deck, but now he only goes into one single Guardian Chimera. So my goal immediately is Nader Servant, get that one card off the field if I can. I do it. Now I Prod of Prosperity just to get more resources, see if I can get something useful. I think I ultimately go with the shield. It makes the most sense because now I can go Jogan, get the shield, and now I can attack, and now he's like there sitting pretty, and then I also have a Solemn Warning. So now I Solemn Warning that one single card out because I had a feeling that was all he had, and sure enough, that was what he had. Now I get Ecclesia, or not even. No, I go Barrier Statue. So the reason I go Barrier Statue here over Ecclesia is because he draws a single he draws a single imperm, then like he's able to just summon like a maniac. So I instead elect to go with the Barrier Statue with another Mirror Shield. So now that I have two of these, now he has to try to find a way to stop two of these from activating, or like the effects to stop the effects from these things that are currently on the field. So now he still plays a little bit through it, but that's all he's got. He probably realizes he can't summon or do anything outside of that. I get Nader Servant again. I'm just going to pop his card. Now I can start going into the Dogmatica Ecclesias, start getting the Dogmatica cards, start attacking with all these things I have. Like I said, it's literally just a matter of tightening the noose. That's like every single time, because it's like you start with something, you get a grab, and then you just start building and building and building. And now there's not very much he can do here. And now I Dogmatica him, but now I'm smart. Like, I already have everything I need. I just go Garura, just get an extra draw just for the hell of it. He goes Thrust, and still nothing. I mean, it still doesn't matter. It still doesn't fucking matter. And now the nice thing is, I think that, yeah, I was gonna say it ends here, but even still, the nice thing, I had Judgment, or Solemn Judgment, so I could totally use Solemn Judgment for the following turn if he tried to use anything, nonsensical. So now this is the only one-turn game I kept. I thought it was just pretty hilarious how this interaction goes. So now I got Nadir Servant. I have a pretty decent hand. All right, so as I was saying, with this, this is actually pretty comical and hilarious. So the way that this one worked is he's got a Snake Eyes deck. I have a really trash starting hand, which is really weird, and I'm just kind of like, okay, play your stupid game, keep playing your stupid game, because like that's all Snake Eyes do. They just constantly combo and move and do all this nonsense, and then they just end with these really tough boards to play through. And he just quit. I mean, literally, like, I was literally like, what is happening? Like, I was like, okay, he's coming, coming, coming. This is gonna suck. And then, sure enough, he just like quit. I was like, all right, like, and that was that. So it's funny. He was like building up like the craziest board in the craziest match, and then he just out of nowhere, like, I don't know why he quit. I wish I knew, but it'd be like that sometimes, I guess. So I thought it was kind of comical. Like, even my friend was watching me play this, and he's just like, "Oh man, this guy's, like, what is it? How is this game gonna end?" And then he just like literally cuts it early. So Fenrir, 3 face down cards immediately. That's just asking for an evenly. But first, before I evenly, I pot a duality to see what I can get. So I go with the Solemn Judgment because he does have a back row of 3 cards. I evenly, just to see, now he got rid of his entire back row, but it's okay. I go Jogan, I got Clockwork Knight, and then I get rid of this card, and now I throw the Solemn Judgment, and we're doing fantastic. I mean, Jogan can easily get destroyed, which kind of blows, but it looks like I was still able to play one more turn. Now I just use Pot of Prosperity just to see what else I can get a hold of. I get the Morganite, throw the Morganite down, and then now I got a Barrier Statue and Jogan. So this is pretty awesome for me. But see, that's the thing. Like, evenly matched. I got the Solemn for it. I got so lucky, because that would have really screwed my day. So that's the thing. It's like, once you get that Solemn, you gotta put that shit down, because that's gonna be annoying. Oh my god, so now he's got Arian, so you already know this is an annoying Labyrinth deck. But thankfully for me, I can attack out of that. And now I have an evenly of my own if I need it. But then I see this Kashtira, all these Kashtira monsters, and I was like, what the hell is this? This was the most confusing game. I was like, what is all of this? So now I get this Morganite to go, because I really wanted to make sure that they can't activate effects. That was like the #1 thing I wanted. And he still activated effects anyway. So I go ahead and well, actually I couldn't even do anything. He got rid of my Clockwork Knight, which really upset the shit out of me. So I had to so I set up Dogmatica to try to wipe these two cards out if I can. And I think that's what happens. That's the goal. Yes, that is 100% the goal. So I take this, wipe these two out. And then now we're sitting prettier. Now he's got a Unicorn and that's it. Like, no Fenrir, so I don't have to worry about him vanishing any more of my cards. But I do have a Nadir Servant. Then I go ahead and use, like, so the one card I ended up using was Aggregator to negate him. Just because I didn't know if he was going to use any effect, so I just tried to avoid it. And then I got to use that Dogmatica. And I got Jogan. So really quick to kind of, I guess, elaborate a little bit further on why I did that. So the reason that I went for Aggregator and shut off his or like to negated him for a turn was because I didn't want him to start going through my extra deck and systematically banishing cards that I may need for a Dogmatica for the following turn. So that way I set it, it goes live. When it goes live, then if he decides to activate his effects, then I can just Dogmatica over him. And I can still allow it to go through, or still like get full use of that extra deck of mine, which is only 2 right now. So if he would have banished it, I would have had a tough time. So now I draw 2. See, that's the thing. Like, I attacked this on purpose. There's nothing else I could really do here. So I do end phase, but at least I have some effects that will go live if needed. So I get that Moon Mirror Shield, and this is what I try to set for the Jogan, to just have him start breaking all of the cards. And then I do get successful. I'm telling you, Moon Mirror is so great because it gets rid of set cards. It's so nice. And that's when he calls game. Alright, moving on up. I mean, this was a very long grind going through Diamond 3. Like, it was a lot of ups and downs. So this one, another going second, but thankfully for me, I have an evenly. So I get to use that, or I'm saying I get to, like, threaten with that if need be. I just have to see what board they set up, and then see if there's anything that I may have to bait before I start setting that up. So now I just go for it. Or do I? Yeah, I just go for it. And it worked. So now he only has 1 card. I need a Servant. Use Entis to try to break this. Goes into Michaelis, and I'm like, okay, and? So now I go Ecclesia to Dogmatica. I said 3. He throws away my Dogmatic. I was thoroughly upset about this. But now he uses his effect. I Solemn Strike, get that shit out of there. It's so convenient and easy. I mean, I knew it was a matter of time. So now, now up to the draw phase. I get Jogan with Mirror Shield, and then I just attack, and now sitting pretty for a little while. And I have a Solemn Judgment, so he can't imperm or evenly me or something. Now I get the Water Barrier statue on the field, attack all 3. Next draw. He sets 1, Jogan Smackdown. And then just attack again. You know, honestly, I messed up here because I totally could have summoned Barrier Statue and ended a turn early. I think I was just concerned. I don't even know. Like, I just was like, alright, let me just attack him and just try to set and just continue following up with what I had. But really, I could have totally went Barrier Statue and just ended, but it still ended anyway. So I lucked out. I mean, I gave him an extra turn, but luckily he couldn't do anything. Yeah, I don't know what my reasoning was there, because I think even like after the fact, I was like, God, I'm an idiot. Why didn't I just put down Barrier Statue? But it's alright. All's well that ends well. At least I still ended up winning. So, of course, our favorite, more Snake Eyes. So just all the Snake Eyes. Wait, actually, that's... Yeah, okay, yeah, it was all the Snake Eyes. I thought so. But this time I have an evenly. It makes me so happy that they can't bullshit me. Seriously, because every time, like, I feel like the majority of my losses in this are just Snake Eyes. Literally, like, Snake Eyes. Like, I seriously, like, and not to mention, Labyrinth with that bullshit transaction rollback is such a broken card. Like, that's the other one. Like, I actually lost the game because I got, Big Welcome twice. Like, it was literally Big Welcome, then Transaction Rollback, Big Welcome again. I was like, how is that even allowed? Like, that's so illegal. I mean, it's like, this should be illegal. So I ended up losing that game. So just a lot of interesting decks being played in the higher levels. So yeah, I mean, I feel like the majority I've seen is Transaction Rollback. Um, Transaction Rollback Labyrinth, and this just Snake Eyes. Like, that's all I've been seeing. So this is the Snake Eyes. I was able to evenly and destroy their entire board. Pot of Duality. End up getting Morganite. Nadir Servant. Ecclesia. Get Garura. Get Morganite. And of course I get 2 Dogmaticas. 3 Dogmaticas. And it's so crazy. This one I think also got me mad. Because I was like, you know, like 3 of these, the odds of me drawing all 3 in a single hand. I was like, this is dumb. So now I entis both of these. I knew that was coming. Or I knew that I was expecting that to show up, and then I was going to Solemn this. So the reason I Solemn this is because I saw that there was 2 level 4s. So I was pretty sure they were trying to go into a level 4 XE. So I had to use one of my Solemns to stop that from happening. And then luckily my hunch was correct because he couldn't follow up. Now I get my Jogan. I use my Jogan to destroy. Now I can attack with all 3. And then main 2, set Dogmatica, and now I'm in a pretty comfortable place. Because they can't imperm like a single card and it be annoying, or I'm saying annoying for me. Now I get Fossil Dino, which I use. Well, really, I just have all the barriers. Now I get to Dogmatica this because of the fact that I had, because it's face up, I end up destroying the 1 card in the back row, and now I just literally attack them with every single tower known to man. Barrier Statue, Dinah, Jogan, like what the hell? This is just so trash. So Foolish Burial, I end up Solemn Judgmenting it just because I had a feeling, yep, sure enough, that was their final card. Now I get Pot of Extravagance, figured just take advantage, draw 2, see what happens. Get Clockwork Knight, and I know for a fact I can attack over him. And then that should be game. Yeah, that was lucky, the Clockwork Knight, because I didn't know what his face down card was going to be. So luckily that just gave me a bit of an insurance policy. Second to last. And I did kind of save the best for last. Like that final game was like actually it's they always bring the best out in you on your promotional matches cuz that was a really tough one to that last one was a tough one. Of course, take a wild guess at what the last one's matchup was going to be. I'll let you guys think about it for this game. So, barrier statue, which I thought was kind of interesting. I was like, is this guy going stun? So I, do what I usually do. So pot of duality. I get all these dogmaticas. So I figured dogmatica was going to be easy for me to get because I already have Ecclesia. So I was going to go with the Solums just to have more Solemn back row. Now I get Moonshield, attack. And I got the 2 Solums on the field, so now I'm comfortable. So now he goes Thunder Kick, whatever that was. I just went with the Solemn Warning, get that shit out of there just in case. Now I have Nadir Servant. He Solemn Warnings my barrier statue. I get Nadir Servant out. I go in Garura. He Solemn Strikes me. I was like, what is this? Like, he really used 2 of those so early. I was confused at what he was trying to do here. So he used 2 Solemns, burned a lot of life points to stop me. And then he just ended his turn. I get a Solemn Judgment. I get Ecclesia for a Dogmatica. Then I attack. So now I figured whatever happens, at least I have like a pretty solid base to stand on. So now I get the Morganite, which is great. Get another Dogmatica. So now another important point to note, I mean this is huge by the way, but before I even go into that, the reason that so Dogmatic is only used once per turn, so that's why I hold them in my hand, because it doesn't make sense to throw more than one on the field. So I just, one at a time, I just keep kind of feeding them onto the board. So that just an important point to note. Like I figured I would just kind of highlight that. Now here, he tries to crack down and pull one of my monsters, and probably the Jogan, because the Jogan is the problem here. But I judgment that straight away, like as quick as possible. I was like, yeah, no, you're not doing that. So now I attack him for game. It's very important to make sure that you hold on to that Solemn Judgment for as long as humanly possible, because that's your like that's the one that's really going to get you out of everything. So you got to make sure that it's worth using, and in there it was 100% worth using. So strategically use of that Solemn is really like I feel like that's as complicated as it gets for this deck. Like if you can use your Solemns in the right possible ways, that usually wins you games. I even had a game in the future that's going to be coming where I literally beat a person just with my back row Solemns. Like I Solemned him and he just quit. He was just like, no! And he just quit the game because he was just over it. So Fossil Dyna opening, attack once, set all of my Solemns and my Dogmaticas. Guess what deck this is? Take a wild guess. Oh my god, this pisses me off. I'm like, really guys? So now I immediately Dogmatica. So really quickly, the plan is this. So I have Fossil Dino here. He sets 1. So now he's going to set 1, and he already set his field spell. So I use Dogmatica to get this out and to destroy his field spell, because my thought process is simply, if he tries to use Snake Eyes in any way, like to summon it or to do whatever, I have Solemn Warning, so I could Solemn that after the fact. But it doesn't even get that far. I was like so happy that I was able to kind of set up a board and then deal with him, because I was like, oh, okay, trying to play through this now. And then he couldn't play through it. And then when I got rid of his field spell, he just called it a quits. And I was like, finally. So then that was it. Literally, like that's, now I'm in, or like, well, based on this video, Diamond 2. So now the next video is going to be Diamond 2 to Diamond 1. So hope you guys enjoyed this video. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And I will see you guys in the next climb.